Hey, guess what? This is my lazy vlog as I stand out here on this street in downtown LA in front of the United Artists Theater for Sundance Film Festival with my press pass and everything. That's right, that's what's up. So we have the black carpet. It's not a red carpet, it's a black carpet. It's not set up yet though, so I got here a little early, so waiting outside to see where it all gets set up. So one of the films that's playing here stars Craig Robinson, who played Daryl in The Office. And I don't know about you, but I happen to be a big fan of The Office. I love that show. So I'm standing out here waiting for all this to start, and Meredith just walked by. And I was like, oh, hey, that's Meredith. Well, I got to meet Craig Robinson, Daryl Philbin. I tried to get an interview with him, but he was in I don't get to be inside that little press thing there. I do have a press pass, but I don't get to be in there. Anyways, I got to shake his hand, so that's a cool thing. I got to shake Craig Robinson's hand. So yeah, man. I didn't get an interview though. I tried, but he's in a hurry. So anyways, let's see what's up. What else is happening? So I'm sitting inside the United Artists Theater right now, waiting for the premiere of Morris of America to start. I don't think it's the premiere, I think it's just a screening. I think it's already premiered probably, but it looks like a pretty exciting film starring Craig Robinson and a couple of child actors. So I'm excited to see it. The trailer looks pretty good. They have a trailer up on the website, so this is going to be fun. Yeah, man.
Hi, everybody. You ready to watch a movie? Okay, cool.
Why didn't I think of that? And you might not know them yet, but you will soon. Give it up for Lena Keller, all the way from Berlin, Germany. First time in LA. And Mr. Marquise Christmas, who turned 17 years old 2 days ago. At the risk of Marquise never talking to me again, can I get a happy birthday to you, to Mr. Marquise Christmas? All right, that's fine.
We'll see you next door. Morris of America comes out next Friday, August 19th. And then it's going to roll over to some more cities over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you tell some people and tweet and all of that wonderful stuff. See you next door. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're leaving the Sundance screening of, we saw Morris of America, and then we saw White Girl, and which I guess Morris of America is being released next Friday. So there's that. So go see it, because it was actually a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot, so go see it. And then we saw White Girl, which was a little more shocking and a little more daring than either of us were expecting.
That's an understatement, actually.
Yes, an understatement. Yes. What should I say about it? When your characters are snorting a line of coke off of male body parts, it's more than you expected. I'll say that.
Especially since it's Riley Poole.
Yes, Riley Poole. And it was actually his male body part. But the interesting thing is that after the film, they had a Q&A with the director. And who was the other person that it was with? There was the director of White Girl, and then the producer,
and then the commentator.
There was some connection with that person to the movie Twilight somewhere that she said about something, because they were talking about that she had a chemistry test with Kristen Stewart and what's the guy's name that played the vampire? Edward. Yeah, what's the actor? I don't know. I don't watch Twilight, but
He was Cedric Diggory in Hogwarts.
that guy. Yeah, that guy. This producer was somehow connected to the Twilight movies. I don't remember how,
Okay.
but either way, so there was a Q&A with the two of them, and there's a lot of really interesting stories and parallels between their experience in making this film and what my experience as a filmmaker, and what I'm imagining that many other filmmakers on this level are, dealing with, working forever on trying to get a film made, and going to places to try to get budget and backers and everything, and getting turned down left and right, and having to deal with you're always on the shoestring of having it not work out, and it's continuing to not work out until it does, and you have to figure out what's the one avenue you can get down to make it go. And I feel like that's a universally common thing for any filmmaker, because a film, its natural state is to not exist, and so you have to make it exist, and that means you're going against nature, and so that's never an easy thing to do. And so when you're limited on your resources and everything, you have to go do what you can do, and it doesn't work until it does. And that was it's interesting to hear how she went through that.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, I got up at the end of the Q&A, and I asked if there was anything about the film that she would have done differently now that she's looking back on it. And what she told me, some great advice that I am going to share, because I thought it was a brilliant piece of advice. She said, don't be done with the film until you're happy with the whole thing. So essentially, don't have anything that you wish that you could do differently, or that you would do differently. Don't be done working on it until you're happy with it, period. And that's fantastic advice.
And yeah, and it kind of amazed me that it took her a long time between her finishing and then her husband producing it till the final cut.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost sounded like a year. She said, I know I heard 8 months, but it was 8 months of that and 4 months of something, but it sounded like about a year's worth till she was done with the movie. I was like, you got your work cut out for you.
yes, yep. Keep working until you're happy. Don't settle for less, is the point. And keep working until you don't have to settle. Even if you have to work for 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 months or however long, don't settle for less. And that's just the thing. And that's great advice. I love that advice.
Yeah, because she also said your script only gets read once or something, something like that.
Yeah, she said something about, I think she said I should put the clip. She said that your film only gets one viewing, and so if you're not, and see, the thing is, you don't have the luxury of screening something in front of people and then afterward explaining, I would have done this differently if. Yeah. You shouldn't. You don't have the luxury of explaining things, and you shouldn't have to.
Do it the first time.
Exactly, get it right the first time, so you don't have to explain things. Like there was a thing recently in recent years with the Fantastic Four reboot film that I didn't see.
The kids?
No. The superheroes, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Mr.
but they
Fantastic.
had a children version. They had like a bunch of teenagers.
Oh, did they? Oh, yeah. They had the actors were all young. I don't know. I didn't see the film, but from what I've heard, apparently it was terrible, to say the least. And I guess that's an understatement. And then the director of the film, he publicly, I think he tweeted or something. He publicly talked about how his vision was different than the vision that got out there, and he had originally a better cut, but the studio made him change it. And that's the thing that's an example of him trying to explain, well, it would have been better if, but, and the thing is, you don't always have the luxury of trying to explain it, because people see what they see and they only see it one time, and you get the one viewing, and then they decide whether they like it and want to view it more or not. So you got to win them over the first time. So make it some. Wow, that is a really cool. No, I like.
Insight.
Well, yeah, insight. But aside from that, the sun is right back there, and so I'm getting really awesome lens flare in my camera here.
And you also like talking about cars, moving cars, like panning.
Oh yeah, okay.
More
So
to
any filmmaker who has tried to do a car scene, you know that it's not very easy to do a car scene. You know, because you don't want to have the bit where the camera is sitting in the back of the car and looking forward, because that's standard. That's the easiest way to do it. Everyone does it that way. I mean, you can do it that way if you want. There's nothing wrong with it. But you're getting basically the back of the head of the actors who are sitting in the front, which, again, there's nothing wrong with. But the thing, the point of filmmaking is to push yourself, to always try harder, always do better, always make something better. You know, and that's how I see it, is push myself to always make something better. And so it's not very easy to do a car scene. And they did something that just blew my mind. In the first film we watched, Morris from America, there's a sequence where they're in the car, the kid and his dad, who's played by Craig Robinson. They're in the car, and the dad's giving this really powerful monologue to the son, and the camera is mounted outside the car, outside the windshield, on the hood of the car. And we're watching from the outside of the car. I'm dropping my phone here, sorry. Watching from the outside of the car while the dad gives his monologue. And the thing is, I mean, it looked like the car was actually driving, you know, as you would expect. But the thing is, while he was talking, the camera started panning. I don't just mean like turning, you know, the camera was actually moving. It started right in front of him, you know, from the driver's seat, right in front of the driver's seat, and ended outside the passenger window looking at him from the side. So it panned all the way along the front of the car, all the way off to the side window. And the whole camera just slid like it was on a track. How do you put a track on the outside of a car? Well, it's so it clearly is. I mean, okay, either they did that and he was actually driving and this is fantastic rig that they had, or he wasn't driving and maybe the car was being towed by another car, or I would hate to know that it was all CG. Because the other thing too is you don't see any reflection of the camera in the. I don't know if you tried if you try to film against glass, you'll always get a reflection. So you have to work it and put your camera angle as such so you don't see the camera in the glass. And I didn't see any camera in this glass. There was no camera reflection. So I don't know. Did they was the car in a green screen room with green screen behind him and he wasn't actually driving and there was no windshield and they digitally put windshield in later? Or I don't know, but it was a fantastic sequence that I was very I noticed these things in movies.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there enjoying it.
Yeah, other people don't notice. When you start making your own films, you start noticing things like this and getting, you know, I'm very impressed by that one sequence. Sold me on the whole thing. Anyways, I'm at 9 minutes here already, so I'm gonna go ahead and go try to work in some of the footage from earlier before the films. We went to the after party afterward and we weren't allowed to film anything. They were very strict with the cameras and whatnot, probably because that's where all the filmmakers and celebrities and, you know, people are just trying to enjoy their drinks, so you can't film anything. So I didn't get to film anything.
Free booze.
Oh, well, there was that. There was that. And a bunch of other free things. I got a free book and I tried the Oculus thing. Whoa, it blew my mind because it felt like I was in a completely different place. And I took this thing off and like, whoa, it was a thing. But I'm gonna go because we're at 10 minutes. So hey, guess what? This was my lazy vlog. Real quick, one more last thing. I really wanted to give a special thank you to Jesse for inviting me along to the Sundance Festival. It's Dine Save Repeat, or it's Jesse Watrous.com. So she's the photographer on my short film that we're doing in a couple of weeks, Who Done It, and I'm just very happy to have her on my team, and she's a fantastic person, and I love working with her. So she has my seal of approval, and yeah, so very very big thank you to Dine, Save, Repeat, and Jesse, what is it? Watros?
Watchers.
Watris. That's it. That's it. Okay, now, hey, guess what? This was my theme song. Lazy Vlog. That's it.